Hey, what's up, guys? Just wanted to take a little bit of time, talk about the 561 again. I got it taken apart here. Anybody who doesn't have one and wants to kind of know what the bearing system and the insides look like, kind of just show you guys that a little bit. Pretty cool stuff. I've had a chance to carry this and use it a little bit, and I definitely value the knife much more now that I've been packing it around and using it here and there. Sometimes, like on hinders and stuff, you come across, and striders for that matter, the grind is just, it's a little too thick for most stuff. You know, it cuts fine, it'll get through anything, no problems with it, but definitely a thinner grind, in my opinion, is always best for EDC and general stuff. This was surprisingly well here. Actually not too bad. You got pretty thick up top, but relatively thin. Not super thin, but not bad. And it did cut everything. You know, I opened some packages and cardboard boxes and stupid stuff, nothing significant, but it did do very well. So you see this inner ring here, that's from the bearings wearing. Now I heard some people say that they read somewhere that you don't have to put lube in here. It doesn't require lube. So there's some wear, so I would definitely recommend lube. On a small side note, if anybody's looking for some good lubricant, I go through a lot of different kinds of lubricants. This is what I'm using right now, and this is what I really like. This is vitamin E oil. And chances are, if you're married and your wife, you guys got kids, chances are you're gonna have some of this already in your house. I guess they use this for stretch marks or something. But it works really nice for knife pivots and this and that, and even if you use your knives for food prep, you don't have to worry about, you know, ingesting a small amount of this. No big deal, non-petroleum based. So anyway, here's one of the liners. This is a magnetic liner, so stainless steel, I'm guessing, but pretty cool, man. The entire package is pretty lightweight, just a shade under 6 ounces, if I remember right. But just cool, all around cool blade, man. And this is just awesome here. You can see how skeletonized this thing is, just everywhere. You know, they even went the extra and got a little back here, some there. There's the pivots, or not the pivots, excuse me. You can see I just had just had my second child. Well, I didn't, my wife did, but so I'm a little bit out of it. But pretty cool standoffs. Once again, you can see some wear here from the bearing spinning. The way it works, you know, the bearing sits in here, and the blade sits flush on this, and supposedly the blade's just supposed to just glide on top of here a little bit. Now I do, when everything's put together and everything's tight, I can wiggle the knife back and forth, and I can hear this rattling all around, which kind of bugs me, but no big deal really, you know. Anyway, and there's the bearing. That's all it is. Only got one for each side. The blue plastic or nylon or whatever it is doesn't do anything. Decided to keep everything together. I was expecting a different type of bearing system, but this, I guess this works just fine. But pretty cool. Sorry guys, I'm probably a little bit blurry. Here's the blade stop when it is in the closed position, and this is just held together between the liners, so it's not pressed in or stuck into one liner. Sometimes you run across that. What else? The blade shape, it's been great. It's actually a really good utility blade shape. You know, for a long time I really liked knives with big recurves. I still do, but I'm leaning more towards this type of blade shape. I find this just works great, and it's easier to sharpen. You know, recurve, especially a big recurve's a bitch. But you got a nice, you know, you angle up a little bit on this, and you get a really nice, you know, tip for opening boxes and stuff like that. But pretty cool. There is the thumb studs and blade stop. They are both, in my opinion. And also, there's like a little hologram kind of 3D. I don't know if you can go pick it up in here or see it, but pretty neat little 3D effect to the logo here. Pretty cool stuff. Comparison-wise, I think this knife compares to the Strider SMF very well. Down to the hardware. You know, you kind of get Striders, and some of them got, you know, they're rough around the edges, and you know, and that's kind of how this is for me. This is not a super, in my opinion, the ZT is not a super user-friendly knife. Only because, you know, the edges are sharp. I mean, you see the machining here. You know, you got a nice consistent pattern down to about here, then it kind of gets all out of whack, you know, then just more and more so down the back. And that's no big deal, but if you're looking really close to, you know, fit and finish and precision, there's definitely going to be some differences in the 560 and 561. But here are the screws. In my book, this is, you know, these are just as good as the screws and stuff Strider uses. I've had great luck with the domed screws. These are super tough. You don't ever have to probably worry about, I'm sure you can strip them, but it's pretty darn hard to strip these out. These things are awesome. You know, so overall, for around, I think like $250, eventually these will be at that. You really can't go wrong, especially you're into titanium frame lock stuff. This is a great value, especially I think this is a great alternative to a Strider. For me, this is just as comparable. If you're going to compare it to an XM, it's just as comparable to a Strider. You know, I actually think this has more in common with a Strider, I would think, but you know what I mean. But pretty cool. You see, there's not a big gap here in between the handle and the actual lock bar, so which is cool. You don't have to worry about this, you know, if you're real hard on it, going in this way, and the overextension does work really well. You can kind of see how it stops there. Strider is just now redoing their lock design, which, thank the good Lord, you know, it took them long enough, huh? With this, you're getting a proven lock. This is just this. So it's basically just kind of right on a slope like that, you know, kind of like that. Whereas the older Striders were on a big radius, and for me that's always kind of been a thing of, you can make a sloppy lock up anywhere if the blade is slightly curved, you know, has a curvature to it, because basically, hey, the lock's going to meet here or over here or over here, somewhere in there, you know what I mean? So this definitely shows a little more attention to detail from what I gathered. You know, doing it this way does take a little more time in the manufacturing process, other than doing it with a, you know, with a humongous radius, with a big radius like the Striders used to be. This is the only Strider I got left right now. I got rid of the other stuff, so hopefully I can try out some of the new stuff. I also just picked up Microtech Select Fire, and this is the actual dual action. I'm not big into autos, but if it's going to be an auto, why not be a Microtech, right? But this thing is sexy. This is probably never going to be really a everyday carry and use for me. Although it is cool, I just don't see too much function in it for myself. You know, I mean, a Tenacious will pretty much handle my stuff just fine that I do. But super cool. I hate the finish on here. It's going to show wear, going to show scratches super easy. That's always kind of just been a pet peeve of mine, I guess. You know, I do use my knives, but I also don't want to, I don't want them to look like crap, you know. I don't know who does, but some people don't. But there's those, so you got two of those there. Like I said, they do rattle on this, on my knife, on my ZT0560, they do rattle, so that doesn't mean it's going to be on everyone, but they do on mine. Yeah, so anyway, let me show you some of these real quick. Oh, it's gorgeous. Man. You know, for me, it doesn't get much better than this. I have a pretty decent collection of knives. This is what does it for me here. Fit and finish and just overbuilt. You know, I will never use this knife to its potential. I do use it, but never even close to what it's probably made for. We'll look at that. Rick does a great stone wash. Almost looks like a dirty stone wash to me, I guess, but hides stuff really well, and that's really a big thing for me. I hate unnecessary scratches and, you know, kind of crap like that. You can see this is one of my older SMFs. This thing's been beat on. You can see how faded and scratched it is everywhere. Oh, in case anybody's curious about that, I got tired of sending these things in, you know, and having bigger thumb studs put on them, so I've been doing this actually for a while. I just put a rubber O-ring on this. Once the lock wears out enough to where it's rocking back and forth, I just put this on here, and gives you quite a bit more life on your lock. It does work really well. So a lot of times what I'll do once the lock starts to you know, show signs of wear, where it's going to rock back and forth, I'll take the pocket clip off, bend that down so it actually applies more pressure onto this, because a lot of times what it is just the lock's fine, it's worn out, but it doesn't have enough spring tension to kind of travel far enough over into this area. So by bending this down, it puts more force on this, and it's going to press this in a little bit for you. But yeah, you know, I've been buying Striders for many years, and with the older ones, this is what I've always done. I just put this on here, say screw it, you know, I use them. Although they do wear out, I've never ever had one disengage on me. I've never had a Strider knife disengage, and that says a lot, especially if, you know, if you got a worn out lock bar and it doesn't disengage. That says a lot. You know, that's still very comforting. But I certainly love a nice Strider. Yeah. But anyway, here's one more quick look at the liner, or the frame, or whatever you want to call it. Decently thick stuff, not too bad. Let's do this real quick. So this is just how this sits in here. So I can maybe demonstrate a little bit how the lockup is. So there you have it, and then this other one sits in here. You know, and you can see how it just kind of rides, you know, the other liner presses in here, it holds everything fairly tight. But you can see pretty much the entire blade tang is met up with the lock bar. Instead of just, you know, like a Strider where you're going to get just one very tip, one corner, and that's, you know, it's going to wear out quickly. This thing's got quite a bit. In comparison, you actually just want to kind of see the size difference here. Let me show you this. Look at the difference in the tang surface where the lock bar meets the blade. You know, the hinder over here and the ZT over here. And this thing is just humongous compared to this. But which doesn't make a difference really. More surface, probably the better. But like I said, you know, if you look on this, you can actually see wear all the way across, which is great. So you're probably never going to have any issues of this wearing out super quick. It's going to wear in nice, it's going to wear in proper, I guess. You know, it's going to wear into a way where you're not going to get blade play and rock lock and all the other crap. But yeah, I definitely recommend picking one up. Super strong knife. It's going to handle whatever you're going to throw at it. Not too sure about the Elmax steel. Haven't had too much experience with it, although I am getting ready to find out, because this is going to get used and I will be sharpening it, and we'll see how it does. So, but pretty cool overall, guys. You know, price point, you're getting an overbuilt knife. You know, it's I think very comparable to a Strider for about half the price. Great looking knife, aesthetically very pleasing. So if anybody's got any doubts or about picking one of these up, I'd say, man, just go ahead and do it. It's gonna last you a long time. It's got that second kind of cool, or maybe it's the first kind of cool, I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. So, and I know I'm not too I don't have too much direction in these. Hopefully I will get better, guys. Please leave a comment. I want some interaction. Somebody tell me, you know, tell me you fucking hate me, anything. Take it easy, man. Be safe.